My name is Sara Griesert, and I teach grades 3, 4, and 5 at Echo Ridge Christian School.
My name is Angela Gryte, and I teach grades 1 and 2 at Echo Ridge Christian School.
And we've been doing Saluting New Readers here at our school for the past 6 years.
Hi, I'm Addie Malai, and I'm in the 5th grade, and I'm going to be reading The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town where the gurgle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, and this is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the gurgle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today, where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was a Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the gurgle grass grows, the old once-ler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the once-ler, don't knock at his door. He stays in the lurkum and the top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum called Under the Roof, where he makes his own clothes of mid-muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail. Then he pulls up the pail and makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his grubbaglis glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper on my phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Slop, down slops the whisper me phone to your ear, and the once-ler whispers are not very clear, since they have come down through the snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I tell you, he says with his tea-sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Thank you for listening to me read.
Hi, I'm Kristen Wildermere, and I'm in 5th grade, and I'm going to be reading Shiloh Season. I figure when David Howard grows up, he'll be an explorer, a detective, or a spy. Whenever there's a game where you have to crawl under a bush, or slide on your belly, or hide in a tree, that's what David wants to play. And because we have a lot more places to hide on our land than he does on his, well, that's why David Howard likes to come to our house. Dad's reading Becky a story, and Dara Lynn's helping Ma wash the dishes. Only reason I got excused was because I got a guest. And you can be sure Dara Lynn will see to it that I have to do the dishes 2 nights in a row. Takes about 20-25 minutes to walk to Judd's from here. I tell David, okay, only a canteen, a map, and a pair of binoculars, says David, his voice low. A map? I say. David, all we're doing is crossing the bridge and walking along the road till we get to Judd's. Not the way we're going, says David. How are we going to spy on someone if they see you walking right up the road? So, to please David, I take the back of a used envelope and make a map of the bridge, the old Shiloh schoolhouse, and the road where Judd lives, plus the small private cemetery and the trees behind someone's house. David brought his own canteen and his mom's field glasses, and I tell him if we don't set off right soon, Dara Lynn will have the dishes wiped and be begging to go with us. We don't have to worry about Shiloh, though. Shiloh trots along beside us as we go down the driveway, but when we turn right instead of left, he pauses, not too sure, then lags 10 feet behind us all the way to the bridge. We stop to look at the pothole in the road. Been there since last spring. Must be 7 inches deep and 3 feet around. Wow, says David Howard. Looks like a sinkhole, Marty. I bet there's a cave under there, and the roof's falling in. So, of course, we have to crawl down the bank and poke around in the weeds and bushes to see if there's a hidden entrance to an unexplored cave that nobody knows about. Thank you for listening to me read.
Sydney Folliente, and I'm going to be reading if you give a pig a pancake? If you give a pig a pancake, she'll want some syrup to go with it. You'll give her some of your favorite maple syrup. She'll probably get all sticky, so she'll want to take a bath. She'll ask you for some bubbles. When you give her the bubbles, she'll probably ask you for a toy. You'll have to find your rubber duck. The duck will remind her of the farm where she was born. She might feel homesick and want to visit her family. She'll want you to come too. She'll look through your closet for a suitcase. Then she'll look under your bed. When she's under the bed, she'll find your old tap shoes. She'll try them on. She'll probably need something special to wear with them. When she's all dressed, she'll ask for some music. You'll play your very best piano piece and she'll start dancing. Then she'll want you to take her picture, so you have to go get your camera. When she sees the picture, then she'll want to send one to each of her friends. You'll have to give her some envelopes and stamps and take her to the mailbox. On the way, she'll see the tree in your backyard. She'll want to build a tree house. So you have to get her some wood, a hammer, and some nails. When the tree house is finished, she'll want to decorate it. She'll ask for some wallpaper and glue. When she hangs the wallpaper, she'll get all sticky. Feeling sticky will remind her of your favorite maple syrup. She'll probably ask for some. And chances are, if she asks for some syrup, she'll want a pancake to go with it. Thank you for listening to me read. Hi, I'm Bailey Coy, and I will be reading The Salamander Room. Brian found a salamander in the woods. It was a little orange salamander that crawled through the dry leaves of the forest floor. The salamander was warm and cozy in the boy's hand. "Come live with me," Brian said. He took the salamander home. "Where will he sleep?" his mother asked. "I will make him a salamander bed to sleep in. I will cover him with leaves that are fresh and green and bring moss that look like little stars to be a pillow for his head. I will bring crickets to sing him to sleep and bullfrogs to tell him goodnight stories. And when he wakes up, where will he play? I will carpet my room with shiny wet leaves and water them so he can slide around and play. I will bring tree stumps into my room so he can climb up the bark and sun himself on top. And I will bring boulders so that he can creep over. He will miss his friends in the forest. I will bring salamander friends to play with him. They will be hungry. How will I feed them? I will bring insects to live in my room, and every day I will catch some and feed the salamanders. I will make little pools of water on top of boulders so they can drink whenever they are thirsty. The insects will multiply, and soon there will be bugs and insects everywhere. I will find birds to eat extra bugs and insects, and bullfrogs will eat them too. Where will the birds and bullfrogs live? I will bring trees for the birds to roost in and make ponds for the frogs. Birds need to fly. We can lift off the ceiling. They will sail out in the sky, but they will come back to my room when it is time for dinner, because they will know that the biggest, juiciest insects are there. Thank you for listening to me read. Hi, my name is Jocelyn, and I'm going to be reading The Tale of the Three Trees. Once upon a time, a mountaintop 3 trees stood and dreamed of what they wanted to become when they grew up. The first little tree looked up at the stars, twinkled like diamonds above. "I want to hold treasure," he said. "I want to be covered with gold, filled with precious stones. I will be the most beautiful treasure chest in the world." The second little tree looked at the small stream ticking by on its way to the ocean. I want to be a strong sailing ship, he said. I want to travel mighty waters and carry powerful kings. I will be the strongest ship in the world. The third tree looked down into the valley below. There were busy men and busy women, worked in a busy town. I don't want to leave this mountaintop at all, she said. I want to grow to so tall that when people stop to look at me, then they raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world. Years passed and the rains came and sun shone and the little trees grew tall. Then one day, the three woodcutters climbed the mountain. The first woodcutter looked at the first tree and said, "This tree is beautiful. It is perfect for me." With a chop of his axe, the first tree fell. Thank you for listening to me read. Hi, my name is Sammy White, and I'm going to be reading Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. We were all sitting around the big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Mom was squeezing oranges for juice. Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we could each eat, and Grandpa was doing the flipping. Seconds later, something flew through the air and headed toward the kitchen ceiling and landed right on Henry. After we realized that the flying object was only a pancake, we all laughed, even Grandpa. Breakfast continued quite uneventfully. All the other pancakes landed in the pan and all of them were eaten, even the one that landed on Henry. That night, touched off by the pancake incident at breakfast, Grandpa told us the best tall-tale bedtime story he'd ever told. Across an ocean, over lots of huge bumpy mountains, across 3 hot deserts and 1 smaller ocean, there lay the tiny town of Chew and Swallow. In most ways, it was very much like any other tiny town. It had a main street lined with stores, houses with trees and gardens around them, a schoolhouse, about 300 people, and some assorted cats and dogs. But there were no food stores in the town of Chew and Swallow. They didn't need any. The sky supplied all the food they could possibly want. The only thing that was really different about Chew and Swallow was its weather. It came 3 times a day, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything that everyone ate came from the sky. Whatever the weather served, that was what they ate. But it never rained rain, it never snowed snow, and it never blew just wind. It rained things like soup and juice. It snowed mashed potatoes and green peas, and sometimes the wind blew in storms of hamburgers. The people could watch the weather report on television in the morning, and they would even hear a prediction of the next day's food. When the townspeople went outside, they carried their plates, cups, glasses, forks, spoons, knives, and napkins with them. Thank you for listening to me read.
Kristen, I'll be reading If You Give a Moose a Muffin. If you give a moose a muffin, he'll want some jam to go with it. So will you bring out some of your mother's homemade blackberry jam? When he's finished eating the muffin, he'll want another, and another, and another. When they're all gone, he'll ask you to make more. You'll have to go to the store to get some muffin mix. He'll want to go with you. When he opens the doors and feels how chilly it is, he'll ask to borrow a sweater. When he puts the sweater on, he'll notice one of the buttons is loose. So he'll ask you for a needle and some thread. He'll start sewing. The button will remind him of the puppets his grandmother used to make. So he'll ask you for some old socks. He'll make sock puppets. When they're all done, he'll want to put on a puppet show. He'll need some cardboard and some paints. When he asks you to make the scenery, when the scenery is finished, he'll get behind the couch, but his antlers will stick out. So he'll ask you for something to cover them up. You'll bring out a sheet from your bed. When he sees the sheet, he'll remember he wanted to be a ghost for Halloween. He'll try it on and shout, "Boo!" It'll scare him so much he'll knock over the paints. So he'll use the sheet to clean up the mess. He'll ask you for some soap to wash it out. He'll probably want to hang up the sheet to dry. He'll go outside to put on the clothesline. When he's out in the yard, he'll see your mother's blackberry bushes. When he sees the blackberries, will remind him of her jam. He'll probably ask you for some. And chances are, when you give him the jam, he'll want a muffin to go with it. Thank you for listening to me read.
My name is Tasha Slayton, and I'm going to be reading If You Take a Mouse to the Movies. If you take a mouse to the movies, he'll ask you for some popcorn. When you give him the popcorn, he'll want to string it all together. Then he'll want to hang it on the Christmas tree. You'll have to buy him one. On the way home, he'll see a snowman in your neighbor's yard. He'll want to make one of his own. Then he'll need a carrot for a nose. When he's all finished, he'll decide to build a fort. He'll ask you to help him. Then he'll want to make some snowballs and have a snowball fight. Playing outside will make him cold. He'll want to go inside and curl up on the couch. He'll ask you for a blanket. Once he's nice and cozy, he'll want to listen to Christmas carols. He'll have to find some on the radio. He'll probably sing along. The carols will remind him of his Christmas tree, so he'll want to make ornaments. You'll get him paper and glue. He'll ask you for some glitter. When the ornaments are done, he'll hang them all up. Then he'll stand back to look at the tree. He'll notice his popcorn string is missing. So he'll want to make another one. He'll ask you for some popcorn. And chances are, when you give him the popcorn, he'll want you to take him to the movies. Thank you for listening to me read.
Ethan Valente, I'll be reading Sometimes I'm Small, Sometimes I'm Tall. God made me just the right size because he's loving and good and wise. Sometimes I'm small, sometimes I'm tall. That's the way God planned it all. I'm smaller than an elephant inside a zoo, but I'm taller than an ant crawling across my shoe. I'm smaller than a big oak tree with branches everywhere, but I'm taller than a bee who's buzzing through the air. Sometimes I'm small, sometimes I'm tall. Well, I'm smaller than a mountaintop covered up with snow, but I'm taller than a turtle who moves very slow. God made me just the right size because he's loving, good, and wise. Sometimes I'm small, sometimes I'm tall. That's the way God planned it all. I'm smaller than a whale that swims out in the sea, but I'm taller than an orange. That tastes good to me. I'm smaller than a lighthouse standing on the shore, but I'm taller than flowers growing near my door. I'm smaller than a wooden bridge that goes across a pond, but I'm taller than a little bird who sings its song. God God made me just the right size because He's loving, good, and wise. Sometimes I'm small, sometimes I'm tall. That's the way God planned it all. I'm smaller than a tall giraffe eating from a tree, but I'm taller than a baby chick. Thank you for reading. Thank you for listening to me.
My name is Anna, and I am going to read Biscuit Finds a Friend, and I am in 1st grade. Woof, woof, what has Biscuit found? Is it a ball? Woof. Is it a ball? Woof. Quack, it is a little duck. The little duck is lost. Woof, woof. We will bring the little duck to the pond. Woof, woof. Here, little duck, here is the pond. Here is your mother and your father. Quack. Here are your brothers and your sisters. Quack, quack, quack. The ducks say, thank you. Thank you for finding a little duck. Quack. The little duck wants to play. Quack, woof, quack, woof. Splash Biscuit fell into the pond. Silly Biscuit, you're all wet. Woof, oh no, Biscuit, not a big splash. Woof, time to go home, Biscuit. Quack, quack, say goodbye, Biscuit. Woof, woof, goodbye, little duck. Biscuit has found a new friend. Thank you for listening to me read.
What's awesome?
Reading!
And where do you go to school?
Echo Ridge Christian School!
Who's in 1st grade?
I am!
Who's in 2nd grade?
I am!
Who's in 3rd grade?
We are!
Who's in 4th grade?
We are.
Who's in 5th grade?
We are!
Hip hip hooray!